NFL season is coming, and now PickSix has returned and HD is ready to do what he does best. The episode begins now.
So, I've been sitting around, I've been listening to a lot of things happen. The NFL has been intriguing for years and years and years, especially as we get closer to the season. There's always shocking moves, shocking cuts, players, sitting out for contracts and this, that, all kinds of crazy stuff. But I said to myself, let me do something here, because I usually just wait until the season starts. Not even preseason. I just get into the regular season, first week of September, do my first pick six as I was planning to do, and then just get into the rest as the season goes along. One thing I am not going to do, and I'm going to say this right now, for all those that have been listening to this podcast, and I appreciate all of you guys that have been listening to this. I appreciate the feedback, the respect that you've shown me, and I'm going to continue doing what I do because I love doing this. I am not doing predictions. The NFL is one of the most unpredictable leagues in all of professional sports. Okay? Super Bowl picks are hard to make. I mean, Kansas City's been doing their thing the past few years, and it's been relatively kind of obvious in some ways. But at the same time, look what happened in February. Who thought that the Eagles would do what they did to them in such classic fashion? I knew the Eagles were going to do what they're going to do and try to win, because I did pick them to win because of the way they played defensively. But I didn't expect that. Nobody expected Sam Darnold to have the season he had. Nobody expected Saquon Barkley to go off like that. We expected Saquon Barkley to perform at an all-time level. To perform at an all-pro level. We expected that because he was doing that for the Giants. He was the reason why the Giants got to the playoffs a few years ago. But we didn't expect this. He was given the keys, and he drove that car right through. Nobody expected Joe Burrow to have the season he had and not make the playoffs. If you look at Joe Burrow's stats, he makes the playoffs with a good team. And when I say a good team, a good defense and a good offensive line, which he has neither of. So that's what happens when you don't have a good offensive line and you don't have a good defense. You put all your money on your receivers, and Joe Burrow himself has all the money wrapped up in him. That's what happens. There's so many things. Cordell Patterson getting released on his off day from Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers. So much stuff to talk about. But this pick six is going to be about 6 topics that I think are intriguing so far in the NFL season, preseason, or whatever you want to call it. So the first topic I'm going to get into is what's going on in Tampa with this young rookie, Desmond Watson, 6'6", 464. Let me get it right. Desmond Watson from the University of Florida, rookie, 22 years old, 6'6", 464. The kid could push the weights. The kid could play. But he's legitimately out of shape. And if you look at the photos, or you've been online, or you've Googled this kid, he's out of shape. Let's just call it as we see it. Tampa is not allowing him to perform in any football activities whatsoever, especially, playing in Tampa with the extreme heat, all that stuff. Todd Bowles and the rest of the staff is not allowing him to play. I don't know if upper management is a part of it, but this is the case right now. And there have been a lot of people going online and saying, well, he's fat, he's this, and body shaming and all that. Let me tell you guys something. I applaud Todd Bowles for what he's doing right now. I truly do. And why I say this is the mental health aspect. You don't want this kid sitting at home. You really don't want him sitting at home. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's going through. You don't know what things are affecting him, and the scrutiny and the disrespect. Because a lot of people have said some very nasty and mean things. Yes, the kid's out of shape. We all know that. He needs to get his ass in shape. He should have been getting his ass in shape as soon as he got drafted. But needless to say, that's what it is. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody should be the same. But I'll say this. If Todd Bowles can get to this kid, get him to do what he needs to do, he'll be fine. He could be a very, very, very great asset to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that defensive end. He's 22. He's got to drop the weight. He's got to put some... He's got power. Don't get... Like I said, this kid has power. He's ready to go. He just needs to, get himself mentally ready. And the funny thing is, you look at the situation, and then you got a guy out there who wants to play. It's not like he's just sitting around. You could see he's itching to play. But then, on the other hand, you got a beast, a cyborg, like Miles Murphy for Cincinnati, one of the only standouts for Cincinnati, one of the only bright spots on their defense. 6'5", 280, and this guy is quick as ever. Like, I've watched some tape on him, and I'm like, 23 years old. So you got this 6'5", 280 cyborg who moves in ways that you're like, what? Then you got this 6'6", 464 kid who can absolutely squash you on the defensive end. He's a powerhouse, but they're trying to keep his health in order so that he can be ready to go. So there's so much different dynamics in the NFL, so much different ways to look at it. These kids both come from two good programs, Florida, Clemson, so respectfully, and we'll just see how this goes. But I'm rooting for both of them because I know Miles Murphy's going to have a lot of work to do on a very depleted defense that Cincinnati refuses to fix. And Desmond Watson's going to have a lot of work to do to get himself in the shape that they need him to be so he could be a forceful impact for them. So I wish the both of them good luck. And I think the both of them, if they do what they need to do, which I know they will, they're going to be fine. The next order of business, I usually don't talk about them, but I have to talk about them. Oh, man. The Dallas Cowboys. Oh, my God. Micah Parsons, what are you doing? You're just... Oh, I love Micah. He's very entertaining. Good young kid. The kid wants his money. He wants his money. He wants his money, guys, and I don't blame him. In an NFL market that is so tight, so cutthroat, GMs cutting stars every day, signing bonuses are so important. This is why, not just making the money, but having the financial stuff to keep yourself set for the future after football, keeping that mental health. Just heard a clip from Sterling Sharp talking about wanting to commit suicide. It happens so much in sports. And I think Micah Parsons wants to play football. No, he doesn't want to play football. He loves to play football. He wants to be there. He wants to make sure that there's money in his pocket. Now, if you spend your money right, you're going to do great things. If you don't, then we know how it goes. But nevertheless, that's his business. That's his life. But he should get paid. On the other hand, Jerry Jones has been burnt a couple of times. Well, he did that to himself when he screwed over Jimmy Johnson years ago. Don't get me started. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, folks. I'm a Hurricanes fan, and I did not like what he did to Jimmy. But it is also a blessing because Jimmy leaving meant the championship glory years were over. They got one more, of course, with Switzer. That was Jerry's. Sorry, not Jerry's. That was Jimmy's team. But that's another conversation. Again, as I state, for another day. Dak Prescott got his 4 years, $240. That hasn't worked out. Then in 2019, I think you guys remember, Ezekiel got his 6 years, $90 million. That didn't work out too well. So Jerry now is probably one of those owners is like, I got burned twice. I'm not doing this again. So, and I understand from a business standpoint. I don't care, to be honest with you. I'm glad these players both got their money. And I hope every other player that plays today, tomorrow, and for the future gets their money. Because these owners are pathetic. They're greedy. And some of them, most of them, are dirty. I just hope Micah gets his money before the season starts. Because things are not going to look good. They need him on that defensive end. His presence alone is just phenomenal. So I just hope that he gets his money. Because he should get his money and deserves his money. My next topic here, and I'm going to continue going on this special edition of PickSix Quick Take, or whatever you want to call this. Terry McLaurin wants his money, and he should get his money. And I'm going to tell you why. 2020, 1,118 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2021, 1,053 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2022, 1,191 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2023, 1,002 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2024, 1,096 yards, 13 touchdowns. So with no quarterbacks, this man was able to get 4 1,000-yard seasons with inept quarterbacking. Jaden Daniels comes in 2024, and he goes from his 7 touchdowns in 2019, which I did not mention. He had 919 yards in 2019, his rookie year, to 13. Did you guys hear me correct on this show? Okay. Pay the man. Pay him. Pay him. That's all I have to say. Next topic. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. Oh, man. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of takeaways from this. Part-time Aaron on his final season, as he has called it, his final season in the NFL, has been playing around with teams for the past couple of years and doing what he feels he should do because it's Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers shit. Excuse my language. It's over. I just don't see it happening in Pittsburgh. You would have thought that Pittsburgh would have drafted a quarterback, even Shedeur Sanders, but they just didn't want to. So, I'm not going to predict playoffs, but if this Aaron Rodgers that you see on tape is going to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this might be the year the Pittsburgh Steelers don't make the playoffs, and this might be the year Mike Tomlin gets fired. And it's a travesty because he's not the one that wanted Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying. Next order of business on this special edition of Pick Six. I want to talk about it, but I don't. Being a fan of this team, but I'm going to talk about it because I already know where this is going to go. J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy. What to expect from him? I expect nothing. I'm just like with Sam Darnold, just like with Kirk Cousins, I expect nothing. I think the last quarterback that I was like, yeah, was Dante Culpepper. I just don't see anything with him that's like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it. I just feel like there's nothing there with J.J. McCarthy that's like he can win something. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at this situation right now as it could be a good season or a really bad season. You know, Coach McConnell has a way of manipulating the media because, you know, they're so looking for negative topics to post. I'm, as a person, a podcaster, I just look at the reality, and it could go either way. It could be really good or really bad with him. You know, they're trying to push the narrative that, yeah, it's a lot of fake shit. I'm pushing the narrative that sit back and wait and see, folks. Pay attention, and hopefully the things that I expect to happen on a positive note happen. If not, then you got Justin Jefferson, one of the best in the world, at his position. That's all I'm going to say. Hawkinson does his thing. Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games because he decided, instead of calling a taxi or Uber or asking a friend to drive him home, he decided to be stupid. 3 games, he's sitting out, he deserves to. Next topic. And this one I'm going to finalize because I've been talking about this from day one. The Cleveland Browns have continued to prove how incompetent they are. They are just absolutely incompetent. So there's a report that comes out that Shedeur Sanders is the 4th quarterback on the depth chart. Then they announced yesterday that he's going to be the starting quarterback Friday night in their first preseason game. If you're not telling me that they're playing bullshit, sorry, excuse my language, with this kid, I don't know what to tell you. We saw it in the draft. The NFL owners came in with their little collusional tactic and decided, you know what, we're not drafting him. We don't want to deal with Dion, so we're going to play with him. We're going to make sure he makes no money. We're going to make sure he gets nothing, but yet the media still wants him. The media still wants him. They're still grabbing onto him. They're still getting a hold of him. They're still showing up at Browns training camp. Don't you guys not see he's a draw and the kid could play? Then you look at the tracker, the quarterback tracker for preseason thus far. Shedeur Sanders is clearly the best quarterback out of the 4. Joe Flacco's a veteran. He's been there. He's going to be there. He's that guy, you know. Every year, Joe is going to be there. Shedeur is doing his thing. Gabriel, whatever. Kenny Pickett should be playing in the AFL. Like, seriously. Come on, Cleveland, come on. Like, you know, like I've done so many shows, and I've never seen a team that is so disorganized and so incompetent like the Cleveland Browns. Like, why are you playing with this kid? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like this. And if you've coached any sports, you understand where I'm coming from. If you don't want a player, let him go. Let him get an opportunity to succeed somewhere else. Holding back another human being from succeeding is your karma. It is your karma. I'm telling you guys this. This is facts. If you don't want a player, let him go. It's okay to say that, hey, you don't want him for certain reasons. It's okay. It's life. It's like anything else in life. Life doesn't work the way everybody wants, but sometimes you put yourself in a position that you could succeed. They are not trying to make this kid succeed. I know they got him out there Friday night, but I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to sabotage this kid. And I'm just hoping if they don't want him, they let him go and somebody else who sees what they're seeing right now, because the kid is performing. I would take him in Minnesota in a heartbeat to be our quarterback for the Vikings. I would take him over J.J. McCarthy. Hopefully Kevin O'Connell or somebody's listening to this show and says, hey, man, maybe the Unscripted 101 podcast has something here. We might take this kid. So, hey, man, Cleveland, stop playing around with this kid. If you're going to let him play, you're going to let him play. That's all that is. That's all it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the special edition of PickSix. The season is fast approaching. Preseason is about to officially start Friday. Well, we had the Hall of Fame game. That was whatever. But this is what it is, folks. Thanks for listening. You know where it's at here. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. It's here. Folks, this is PickSix, and I'm HD. I'm out. Peace.